Mabuhay everyone, MARKCHES here. Welcome to the channel, and for today's video, I'll be comparing two of my current favorite sneakers to hoop in for this year. So let's find out what's the main difference between these two. Let's go. So guys, if you are not familiar with these two sneakers, of course both are from Way of Wade line, which is from Leaning to. Leaning is the mother company, it's a Chinese brand. Dwayne Wade's line of signature basketball sneaker, apparel, etc. And on my right is the Way of Wade 10, Wow 10. And on my left is the Wade 808 2 Ultra. So kind of long name for both, but the main difference is this is the main line or the most premium basketball signature sneaker of Dwayne Wade. This is what he wear when he was still playing, and until now, this is the most premium, the most expensive one. And this one is a tear down version, if you would call it that, because there's another one that's the All City line, which is kind of the same tear as this, but we'll talk about the All City 10 in another video. Or if you want to watch my performance review of the All City 10, I did a performance review on that too, and they were still one of the best this year too. But these two, I mean, man, I thought that they will run out of ideas already, but they really came as a surprise from Leaning, from Way of Wade, and really congrats to Way of Wade for really pushing the envelope on the performance basketball sneaker, because I thought for the most parts Nike was really way up ahead compared to the other brands, but Leaning came out of nowhere again and shocked the whole world, not just me, because I've heard a lot of people really talking and raving about these two sneakers, and they really agreed on my performance review on both of the sneakers. But if you're someone who's still looking at these pairs and choosing between these two, because let's talk about the price first. Since this is the main basketball signature sneaker of the Way of Wade, this is priced at 13,500 pesos. That's around 220 US dollars, so pretty expensive basketball sneaker. While the 8082 Ultra, this is going for around 9,500, so that's about 190 US dollars. So 4,000 pesos difference between these two, or that's around $80 difference. That's a big difference in terms of price between these two. But let's talk about in terms of performance, and hopefully after this video you'll know which one to get. And let's start first, of course, with the upper of these two sneakers. On the Wow 10s, it has, for this Blossom colorway, it has this soft mesh upper that's dual layered, and the first thing that you will notice on this is on how thin the materials are for the upper. They're ultra soft, didn't need any much break-in time, and the thing that I was really impressed is it is really soft to the touch. It's thin but at the same time ultra supportive, and it doesn't stretch that much, and it's really comfortable around your skin. So this material goes from the forefoot going to the lateral part of the sneaker, and there's a ripstop material around this collar area, which is also very nicely made. The quality is really nice, and this is just for aesthetics, this foam. And on the medial side, it has the same like jersey like material, which is soft but still very supportive, and there's an underlining fabric for this sneaker that kind of helps out in the support of the upper. And if you can see, this part is different from this material too. It kind of holds this part, this piece, and when you're tightening up the laces, it kind of acts as like a strap, so it kind of pulls your foot down to the footbed, giving you a very nice one-to-one fit for the upper of the Way of Wade 10. And comparing the upper of the 8082 Ultra, has the screen mesh upper that has an underlining fabric that is fused to the screen mesh, which gives the support on the upper of the entire sneaker. So it goes from the forefoot going to the entire lateral part and medial part of the Ultra. And this one feels a little bit crunchier see here at the mic. It's crunchier but still soft, but in terms of comfort level of the material, I would give it to the Wow 10 because of how soft the materials are and still giving the enough support. But this on the Ultras is also not a sloucher. It is still very comfortable around your skin, but there's more ventilation on the Ultras compared to the Wow 10 because even though this is thin, it is closely knitted and there's a little bit of air going in, but comparing it with the Ultras, the air really passes through. So if you want more ventilation, the Ultra will give you that, but the Wow 10 still has a very nice ventilation in the entire part of the sneaker, and even on the tongue part you can see some more ventilation holes there, and some areas has padding, so that's very comfortable when you're tying up the laces, so the tongue material won't scratch against your skin. So those foam panels inside the tongue really helps out in the comfort level of the Wow 10s. At the heel part of the sneaker is another main difference between these two. Of course, the Wow 10, this is a mid-cut sneaker, while the Ultras, although it has this piece, but this is just knit, this is just fabric, and the one giving you a bit more support is this part, and of course the heel cup, which gives you the ankle protection that you need. And in terms of ankle protection, I would give it a tie because even though this is a low-cut sneaker, the heel containment on the Ultras are still great, while on the Wow 10s, of course, if you want a more secure feeling around your ankle and heel, of course, a mid-cut sneaker will kind of give you that feeling a bit more. But in terms of heel cupping, both are very good in heel containment. Both are very wide around the heel too, to give it more balance and stability to your ankle so that you won't easily twist your ankle when you step on a foot or accidentally do a misstep when you're playing. Another thing that's helping out in the Wow 10, of course, this plastic piece. Although it's not too hard, but still gives you enough support to catch your foot when you're doing lateral cuts. So it catches this entire area, and it's very comfortable around your foot, so it doesn't shave off your foot when you're running up and down the floor. That's why I think they really did a great job on this by making this a soft rubber and not putting a really hard rubber around this part. But this Way of Weight logo around the heel also cups your heel nicely, giving you extra ankle protection so that you won't roll your ankle inwards or outwards. It kind of catches your ankle a bit more. Well, similar to the Ultras, this part, this plastic piece also goes up, but just a tiny bit. So in terms of lateral support, I think the Wow 10 has a better lateral support compared to the Ultras, but which the Ultras is still not bad. So a little advantage on that on the Wow 10s. So plainly speaking, it's really a matter of preference. So if you are more into a low-cut sneaker, of course, you would like the Ultras a bit more compared to the Wow 10s. But if you want that extra ankle support feeling, of course, choose the Wow 10s. So for the insole of the Wow 10, it has this very dense insole that's very comfortable. And as for the strobo lining of the Wow 10, it has this jersey-like fabric, and right below that you could feel the full-length boom instantly. And the full-length boom on the Wow 10 is amazing, while the Ultras also has full-length boom cushion setup, but the main difference is it is a drop in midsole insole. Here you go. So this full-length is boom cushion. So you would say or go into a conclusion that the boom cushion on the Ultras will be a little bit better compared to the Wow 10. But in my testing, the main difference between the boom cushion of the Ultras and the Wow 10s, even though the Wow 10s has a slimmer boom cushion below your foot, but it kinda has a different density to it. when you're stepping with the WOW 10, even though it's thinner, it feels a lot more bouncy compared to the boom cushion of the Ultras, even though the boom cushion of the Ultras is also bouncy, but this one has a different feeling on them that is really giving you that energy return that you want and feel if you're into that. And I think one of the main factors that helps out in the bounciness of the WOW 10s is of course the carbon fiber plate that goes from the heel to the forefoot around this part, so it's almost full length. And that's the one thing that really stands out on the WOW 10 is when you're running up and down the floor, you could really feel the carbon fiber giving an extra push when you're running and springs you back together with that boom cushion. So I think those two combination really gives you that extra springy bounciness feel in the WOW 10s. While on the Ultras, even though it has a bit more tame bounciness, but what's nice about the Ultras is that it has a lot more impact protection compared to the WOW 10. So like I said, matter of preference, if you want a more springy feel, especially when you're running up and down the floor, WOW 10s. But if you want more impact protection at the same time, a good bounce from the forefoot and heel, the Weight of Wade Ultra is for you. As for court feel, I would say both have excellent court feel, but the WOW 10s is closer to the ground, but still giving you that bounciness. So it's a really nice experience to play with the WOW 10s. I really enjoy playing with the WOW 10s. So for me, if you want a perfect example, if I'm into a game that I really need to be really quick and very ultra responsive, I will grab my WOW 10s. But if I'm playing more for pickup games for a longer period of hours, I would pick up the Ultras because of the impact protection the Ultras will be giving me for a longer period of time, especially when my legs are tired. The Ultras will be more forgiving compared to the WOW 10s. Now let's talk about the traction between these two. These two tractions are two of the best tractions this year. They grip really hard on the floor, especially the solid rubber outsole. I haven't tried the translucent ones. I have the all white colorway too of the WOW 10s, which also has a white solid rubber outsole, and still the grip is amazing. While the Ultras, I have this pair and I have another pair there, which is the cotton candy colorway, and they both grip really nicely. And I would say a little bit of an advantage on the WOW 10s in terms of grip on the floor, because when there's dust present, you need to wipe a bit more on the Ultras compared to the WOW 10s. But in terms of outdoor use, I would say if you're playing with this outdoors, I would recommend the Ultras because this is cheaper and the rubber compound is a little bit thicker and wider, especially on the forefoot part compared to the WOW 10s, which is closely knit. But there's something about the grip of the WOW 10s that really grips really hard on the floor, especially on dusty floors. Still grips really nicely. I don't need to wipe it so often, and you won't go wrong with the two tractions of this. If you can drop by my IG, you can see me doing some traction tests on these two sneakers, and they really feel amazing and they're very dependable. These two sneakers are always on my bag as a backup if I'm testing a new sneaker that I haven't played yet, so that I can switch up if the court conditions, especially right now, I don't know when it's raining or when the floor is moist. When the floor is moist, I usually default to this so that I won't get injured again, because one time I slipped on one of the sneakers that I was testing and had an injury around my leg. So hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. So like I said, these two, in terms of traction wise, very, very dependable. And even the cushion, of course, the cushion is ultra bouncy, good impact protection both, and these two are really highly recommended. As for the weight of these two, the WOW 10 is 395 for a mid-cut sneaker, guys. And for the Ultras, this is actually US 10.5 half size lower, and this is 440, so 40 grams heavier on the ultras. And you would think that the Wow 10s will be heavier, but I was also shocked by that. So that really says a lot about the Wow 10, even though it's really expensive. They put a lot of tech on it. They really chose the right materials, giving us the right combination of soft materials, still supportive, excellent cushion traction, at the same time very durable sneaker. While the Ultras also, even though this is a little bit cheaper to the Wow 10s, but still expensive at 9,000 pesos. But it's really a good performance basketball sneaker. As for the fit, if you would ask me why I went 10.5, because on my first review, the cotton candy, I actually had that on a US 11. And when I tried a US 10.5, because I kind of felt like there's a little bit more room when I was doing lateral cuts on the US 11. But the US 10.5 on the Ultras fits me very well because I think there's less plastic on the lateral part of the sneaker, so that it's more forgiving. So it's when it's really snug, it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Because I think if I went down half a size on the Wow 10s, this plastic piece would kind of touch my small toe. So I think it will give me a little bit more discomfort. And the toe box of the Ultras, even though here it kind of looks the same, but it has more toe room here compared to the Wow 10s, because there's much more materials around here on the Wow 10s. And on the Ultras, just one piece upper, pretty minimal, but it has these panels on the lacing system plus this plastic piece on the lateral side. So US 11 on the Wow 10s and 10.5 on the Ultras for a regular footer like me. So true to size on Wow 10s, half a size down for the Ultras. But if you're a wide footer, go half a size up on the Wow 10s and go true to size on the Ultras. So that's it on my comparison between these two sneakers. So like I've said, if you are looking for a more low-cut sneaker, of course, a good bounce, a sneaker with an excellent impact protection, the Ultras will give you that. But if you want a lighter sneaker, more ankle protection, and if you like running up and down the floor a lot, and you want to save energy and gives you that maximum spring back and bounciness below your foot, Wow 10 is highly recommended. And if you have that extra budget. So that's it on my comparison between these two. Let me know which one you would choose if money is not a problem. Hit me in a comment down below. This has been MARKCHES once again. Thank you for dropping by. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.